technology has been seen by several nations, especially developing nations these days, as the leverage on it to build their society. The world all over is going information technology, and Nigeria cannot be left behind. We must measure up to expectations. People use IT now to develop their countries in all spheres of these sectors of their economy, and we must key into these issues. It is on that note that we have IT specialists and experts today in our studio to tell us exactly what they do and what they're doing to contribute their quota to the growth of Nigeria's economy. I have in the studio the IT specialists from the back end, and they'll be telling us what they do in the studio. You're welcome to our program.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the program. All right, so we would like to know exactly what is back end all about. What do you do?
Okay, Back End Project is an initiative from IT Hunters Limited. IT Hunters Limited is an IT firm based here in Abuja. We do computer networking, we do software development, we also train and consult. But we got this initiative, Back End Project, to train children or teenagers basically on computer programming.
Okay.
Computer programming people call coding. Yes. These are languages we put in the computer before you, the user, see it on the front end. And we've seen that our people have been much of consumers. We're only interested in the front end. When they develop, in other words, we here keep logging in, making other people rich, making other people understand the technology more than we. So we want to bring this generation out of that consuming state.
Okay, so we're talking about developing our own information technology.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And the root of it is knowing what happens at the back of it. Back and literally.
Not just having a YouTube or a website where you can go there and visit, and then you don't know what is
what,
going on.
yes.
Where they put what you see on the website.
Yes, we want our people to understand how you put those things. Our people are interested on already made. We only see the front end, patronize the front end. We all rush to log in to know more about the front end. But the back end, how it's been developed, how these websites come up, how these applications come up, our people really don't know about it. And if we don't know it now, we'll continue to be consumers. These people who know them will continue to make the money while we enjoy what they have done only and pay them. So we want our people to also know about it, create our own content, do things our own way, what we want and how we want, and also make money from it.
Okay, now I'll get back to you, and you will tell me what the category of people, the qualification of people who are supposed to get these skills. But let me ask the lady in the house. Now, we've discovered that when you talk about IT, there is a configuration of the mind that goes to the men. You know, the men do the job, the men do the IT skills, they handle the, the hardwares that are used, on the system or in information communication technology. Why do we have this perception, and what is the back end doing to change this perception as a lady working with men? Okay. I know there are more men than women. So what are you doing?
The fact is, technology is growing, and there's this huge shift in technology. And every day our reliance on this technology increases. And in this digital age that we are in, we have the digital natives. We have those children that were born into the digital world. So knowing programming is an essential literacy for them. So basically what Backend Project does is to change that narrative that the technology field is basically or dominated by male. We want to give the female, we want them to know that there is so much more they can do. Because if you give a girl child a phone, the girl child can say hello, can say hi, can even navigate her way through to Cartoon Network, go to YouTube and all that. So we are out here to tell parents to give in their girl child more. Let them understand this thing. It's not just enough to know how to say hello, hi. It's not enough to just know how to use the computer or the phone device, but to also understand the logic behind it, to understand how it is being controlled, and to also be actively in participation.
Okay, what has been the reaction since your advocacy? Are we seeing more women, come up and say, I want to know what they say, it's only men that know? Have you seen a change since you started advocacy?
Exactly. Like the participants you are training, you need to see how passionate the girls are about this thing. We have overall best students. You see ladies coming up, and it's amazing to see what they do. We give them take-home assignments, and you see how they come back, give you what they have developed. These are girls that we are so proud of, and we are sure that in the future there will propose solutions to the emerging problems in technology. So honestly, I would say it's been amazing, and that's why we want this to go beyond just the scope that we are seeing, so that more females can actually participate in this. They can actually do more. We want to inspire them so that they can be empowered to do more in that technology field. Changing that narrative that is male dominated.
Okay, Faith Richards there talking about the participation of women in IT, and you said the women are doing wonderful. Who says a woman is a less human? Who says a woman cannot do what a man can do? I've seen women who drive now 911 trucks, doing powerful things, driving trailers on the highway. So it means if a man can do it, a woman can do it. And she's saying it's time for the female folk to rise and live up to the expectation. Maybe challenge the men in the IT sector. Who says a woman will not be the most brilliant IT person in the world? Okay, now let me get back to Onyedikachi. I was talking about the qualification. Who qualifies, to be trained on this back end you are talking about? At what level of educational attainment would anyone get to that will make him able to decode and code and work at the back end to supply the front end?
Okay, the program is not gender based, so a boy, a girl qualifies for this. More so, you must have a level of computer literacy. Okay. The appreciation.
Okay, it means you're not starting from the scratch.
No.
One must have computer appreciation knowledge first.
Yes, because this is a different aspect of computer that you must know how to handle your mouse, you must know how to impute things on computer before you come on board for this. Also, with targeting teenagers ranging from age 9 to 20. The reason is because there's this Chinese proverb that says that if you want to plan for a year, you plant rice. If you want to plan for 10 years, you plant cassava or trees. But if you want to plan for 100 years, you educate children.
Okay.
So we are targeting children and teenagers because at this stage, they are the digital natives. They understand this more than the digital migrants. Those coming from age 20 downwards are digital natives. When they see that @ sign, they know that this email automatically. But somebody, a digital migrant, would also wonder what an @ sign is doing. When these digital natives see the hashtag, they understand that this has to do with Instagram or any social media thing.
Okay.
But you, the digital migrant, will also want to think, what is this for? So they have this belt in them. We only want to activate this science and technology in these children. And also our mission is to make them be at par with their equals around the globe.
Okay.
Yes, so our target is male, female, computer passionate or programming passionate teenagers between the age 9 to 20.
Okay, I still have Faith in the studio, making advocacy for the female folk. Now, Faith, I would just like you, before you leave, to talk to the female. I'm particular about that because I know I get into IT office and the only people I see are just guys. If Faith can do it, then I think you should talk to the female folk out there, the young girls, who are looking for what to do. Now, you just want to talk to them.
Okay.
Just encourage them before you leave.
Okay, to the female child, girl child out there, I would like to tell them that they should not just see the technological field as a male-dominated industry. They should strive to be there. There's so much more that a woman can do in the technology world. We thank God for the many platforms that are coming up to empower the girl child. So I would just tell them to key in it. It's not basically what you learn in school. Now we are dependent on technology that any field, directly or indirectly, you will still come back to it. You will still use it. So outside your work, outside your career, outside your education, background or qualification, you can still find something to do. There are easy courses, free online courses you can do online to empower yourself. Start something very simple, and before you know it, you'll be better. And also help your children that you're bringing up, because as you are a mother and you're good in this aspect, as you're bringing up the little one, you're also doing your own in the home front, so that when, yes, to educate them. So when they go out there, they don't just know this is what WhatsApp or Facebook is, they also know what controls it behind. So we have so much more to do in technology. It's not just about leaving it for the men.
Okay, thank you so much, Faith Richards. And let me now come back to Onyedikachi. Now, if a client comes up and say, I have 3 children, I want to, be IT specialist, over a period of time, and they don't have so much knowledge about IT appreciation or computer appreciation. Now, how do you handle cases like this? Would you tell them to go back and get computer appreciation before they come back?
Okay, in this back-end project, because it's kind of a CSR from our organization, we tend to concentrate more on these persons who have crossed this level of appreciation.
Okay.
But to answer your question, no, I will not send them back to go, not to participate in this program, but we will urge them that while we do this, because we do this every Saturday, this program runs every Saturday. So if you are in my class this Saturday, in the course of the week, please try as much as you can to put in your time on computer appreciation, so that by the next time you bring the class, you understand where we are or have idea of what we are talking about. Because you coming into a programming class without having a computer knowledge, you are just in a wonderland. You don't know where you are. But when you understand how your mouse works, you understand how you impute things, you understand the Microsoft Word and other things. When we talk about Notepad++ we used to teach and other things, you will be in line with us. When we say create a folder, you can understand what we're talking about. Even in the program so far, we've had persons who don't have any knowledge. They've come to join the program. They find it difficult to cope. But I also advise them that after this class, put in your time to see that you get these basic computer knowledges before you bring the class again.
Okay, now we've been joined in the studio by Shiaka Shamaya, and a young IT guy that will be telling the whole world what he has learned and what he do at Backend. Before I get to the little Shiaka, let me come back to you again, Onyedikachi. Now, let's say you have people to train. What are the processes? What processes do you go through? Like a capture of the cost load. What do you do? From what stage to what stage, and how long does it take?
Okay, we have modules in this project. It's just the project takes care of basically the basics of computer programming. Computer programming is voluminous, for those who know. So we take the basics, which run from CSS, HTML, down to Bootstrap, and just web development, basically. So these modules help these children to understand how websites are built. And there are other sides of programming, the bigger side of the advanced side of programming. But if you understand the basic, which we all know, when you do one, you will understand two. Yeah, so we'll handle them
step by step. You
yes,
move from one step to the other. Okay.
But for the project, because of the limited time, we'll handle them only on this basics, because we'll run a particular location for 1 month. The 4 Saturdays of a month, we'll handle one location in the 4 Saturdays of a month. The program is to cover the suburbs in Abuja. We've covered Kubwa, Buhari, Duse, Pape and Karimo. So we're moving down to Karo, Nyanya, Jikoi. So all the 4 Saturdays in a particular month will handle one location. And 4 Saturdays are not enough. We'll run from 9 to 3. And their children, we don't keep them long. So between 9 to 3, we are done for a particular Saturday. We'll give them assignments to go home and come back.
And they return back.
And they return back the next Saturday.
So they can even be in school and still go through
yes,
this program.
Yes, that's why it's on Saturdays.
Okay.
It's for everybody who meets up with this. But we have a limited number of persons who take. And those who show interest and have passion for this. Through the channel they apply, we'll have a small test which will select those who will feel that understands this.
Okay, so it's not just for anybody that applies.
It's not everybody applies to take. Reason is because of resources.
Okay.
We handle this solely by ourselves, IT hunters. So we have limited resources. So we accommodate 30 children.
And it's practical based.
It's practical based, hands-on.
Okay, people need to put their hands on the system and do it as they're being taught.
Yes.
Okay, now we have Chiaka Shamaya in the studio. Chiaka, tell us what you do at IT Hunters, especially as it regards back-end.
My name is Chiaka Shamaya. I'm a benefactor of the back-end project organized by IT Hunters. I came out one of the best students, and I'm currently undergoing mentorship training at their office in Wuse Zone 2. So the project is really amazing. It's very wonderful. Those who show keen interest can actually grab something that will take them very far in future if they really take programming seriously. I'm currently working on a website which was handed as a project to IT Hunters. So I was called on to be among the team. It was a privilege by God's grace. I was called on to be on the team which will be designing that website, and is currently under designing. We are still working on the user interface before we go to the structure. So the program was really amazing. Those who show interest can really grab something. And I'm encouraging you, if by God's grace you have this privilege to be among this training, please, you take it seriously, because you don't know what you might get out of it. Today now, I can say that I can do something on my own and it will look out good. If not, I'm not going really deep into programming, but by God's grace, with the help of IT Hunters and my parents and others who have been supporting me to push this dream forward, by God's grace, I will be a very, very good website designer.
Okay, Chiaka, you're just speaking about IT, developing a website. You are called to be part of a team of a group of people that will develop a website. And I'm just wondering, how old are you? Let's start from there.
I'm 14.
And you are still a student?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chiaka Shamaya is a student, and he has already, gotten a skill. He has already known how to, the basics, the rudiments of how what it takes to develop a website. And he's already, he has already carved out a niche and a dream for himself, saying, this is what I want to do as time progresses. Now, okay, Chiaka, I'll come back to you, but before I do that, let me talk to Mr. Onyedikachi. How do you do this? You say what does it take after the selection process? When you talk about IT, you talk about website designing, you see billboards everywhere in town calling people to come for website. Then when people show interest, most of them are driven back by the amount of money they need to pay to really go through that training. What sets IT hunters different from other people who teach back end and IT skills? What makes you different?
Okay, what I would say that makes us different from other persons who teach this, it's because, one, we're giving this to the children at no cost. Yeah, the parents, the children.
Zero cost.
Yes, at zero cost. We handle everything ourselves, get the location, and they come to have this training and go at zero cost. So, more so, we try to get this from the scratch because we are doing this with passion. Because it's coming to them free, we are giving it with passion. So we take it from the scratch where they will understand it. I've been to some classes, I've been to some other people who teach programming or web design. I see that they only share manuals and talk little about it. But it's a hands-on thing. When you're given a manual that have lines, codes, dash, hash, you get lost on how to impute them. So it's a hands-on thing that we make sure you have a computer before you. We display, you do as we do, you take something home and come back to build something. So it's not the manual kind of training others do. And because we're doing it more out of passion, because we want to end consuming from the IT section, our people have been consumers all the way. We want to impart skills. So because it's skills, we are imparting skills. We don't just give you manuals. We teach you hands-on. You practice with us as we go. Like Shemaya have said, we also have this mentorship program. Not after the 4 Saturdays, we'll let you go. After the 4 Saturdays, if you do well, like he came out the best in Kubwa with some other persons, we engage them in mentorship program. They now come to our office to do life projects. So some of these other people who teach this, once your money expires, for sure you're gone. But this, because you don't pay anything, we are doing it out of passion. We give you the best in it. And when we see you wanting to do like us, we'll bring you in. Like he's one of us. He's handling a life project of a hotel in Abuja here. And with this, whatever proceed that comes from it, he will have a little for himself and understand that this will also pay me, will make me independent financially, and will also help me add my own quota to the GDP of this country.
Okay, Shamaya, just briefly, there are people who send their children to summer schools, like you are on break and you are learning IT skills. Now, a young child of your age, I'd like you to talk to some parents watching this program who have children at home, definitely, that would have gotten them gainfully engaged, like you have been engaged and you are building the process. So now talk to your peers at home and then talk to some parents regarding training their children in the way they should go.
My own little advice is that when things like this come, you don't just throw it out. Like there was an instance, a girl that came out second best alongside me in Kubwa. When they brought the application form to her school, the principal of the school just threw it out the window like, is this not evil or something? It's like a business kind of thing. They're using it to make money. They didn't know that it was real. So it was after much inquiry they knew. They knew that this project was actually something serious and they took it serious. And today she's a benefactor to alongside me. So I want this little advice, please. I want us to take it seriously, that when things like this come, we don't just throw it out, to make further inquiry, to make sure that it's genuine. And when it's genuine, you seek the consent of your child if he's interested or not. So you don't go and pay for something that your child isn't interested for. So after the end of the training, your child doesn't have anything to show for it. So parents, please, endeavor, make time. It must not only be IT. There are other skills out there which your children can be interested in. Make out time to enroll them so that at least they can get a skill. Because nowadays in Nigeria, hunting for white-collar jobs isn't easy. So the way forward is entrepreneurship. By the time you have your own skill, you become independent, making money for yourself. You don't have to answer to one boss that works you up day and night. So I want to advise parents that please allow your child to go and learn some of these skills that can help them, even both in the university and when they pass out. These skills will always be there to assist them in time of need.
All right, thank you so much, Shaka. Let me end with you, Mr. Onyedikachi.
Yes,
now, some parents are watching, and you say this is a Saturday to Saturday program.
Yes,
now, for parents who are interested, how do they get their children enrolled? What is the process of enrolling their children into this program?
Okay, we'll have a website where the children apply. Parents can help them with their smartphones, with their computers connected to the internet, www.backendproject.com. Yes, but because we're taking it location by location, after this Saturday, for the month of September, we're starting with Nyanya, Jukoyi, and Karina. Are all joined together, and it's 30 participants. Before now, the participants don't know how many we'll take. We'll take 30. So people who answer the questions on the form correctly, people who show passion for this, are the people who think, are the children will absorb for the program. So we urge them to go to the website, www.backendproject.com, register, and wait for us. After our evaluation, we return back to them to tell those who qualify that you are qualified and this is where the program takes place. Those who doesn't qualify, we also write them to let them know that they do not qualify for this. Because it's free, we'll take just 30.
All right, thank you so much. Parents who are interested or children who have shown interest, parents, you must try to do something now. www.backendproject.com is where you need to go to register your child. It says between the ages of 9 and 20. So if your child is within that age bracket, just go and register your child. If the child is interested, ensure the child gets a skill, not education, conventional way education when they are on vacation. Make sure your child gets a skill before he or she graduates from secondary school or even from the university. That's the much we'll be taking on the program. Thank you so much, the experts from IT Hunters, training children on how to develop the back end and not to just be the consumers of IT, but those that will create IT skills for others to also consume in the world and make money for themselves and make life better, contributing to the GDP of the nation. Thank you so much, Mr. Onyedikachi. I also had Shiaka Shamaya, and before he came, we had Faith Richards on the set. Thank you so much for coming on the program today. This is where we close this interview segment, and when we return, it will be time for Star Times with Charity Tanko and Stephanie Aka to tell us what is happening in the Star Times world.
Are you a teen between age 9 and 20? Do you live around Pape, Karmu, and Life Camp, Abuja? Do you have basic computer knowledge with a passion for coding? Backend Project offers you a chance to participate in a web development boot camp at no cost. To apply, log on to www.backendproject.com. Hurry now. Application closes soon. Organized by IT Hunters Limited. Sponsors.